Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Future Force. Today we are diving into one of the most dramatic confrontations in naval history, a story that showcases courage, technology, and the incredible resilience of the U.S. Navy when tested by one of the boldest military moves of our time. This is the story of China's bold attack on a U.S. aircraft carrier, and how the Navy's defense completely changed everything. It is not simply about weapons clashing in open waters but about strategy, human determination, and the proof that dominance at sea is still decided by those who innovate, adapt, and refuse to break under pressure. When we first set our eyes on the exterior of the U.S. aircraft carrier, it becomes immediately clear why it is considered the crown jewel of American naval power. Stretching over 1,000 feet in length and weighing more than 100,000 tons, the carrier is a floating fortress, a steel giant that projects power across the globe. Its towering superstructure rises above the horizon, bristling with radar domes, antennas, and advanced communication systems. The massive flat deck is like a floating airport, capable of launching and recovering dozens of fighter jets in rapid succession. Every detail of the exterior is engineered for survival and efficiency. The sleek design minimizes radar detection, while layers of reinforced steel protect against missile strikes. Even the deck is coated with heat-resistant material to withstand the fiery roar of jet engines taking off and landing around the clock. From afar, the carrier is an intimidating shadow across the sea, but up close, it is a symphony of engineering, strength, and purpose. Inside, the scale becomes even more astonishing. An aircraft carrier is not just a warship. It is a floating city housing more than 5,000 personnel, all working in harmony like the gears of a giant machine. As you walk through the corridors, you find yourself in a labyrinth of living quarters, command rooms, medical facilities, workshops, and storage bays. The interior is designed for both comfort and resilience. Sailors live in tight quarters but are provided with everything needed to sustain long deployments, from cafeterias to gyms to chapels. Deep within lies the Combat Information Center, the nerve center of the ship. Here, giant digital displays track every aircraft, missile, and vessel within thousands of miles. Teams of highly trained officers monitor radar screens, analyze intelligence, and coordinate defenses in real time. The atmosphere is tense but disciplined, every movement rehearsed through endless drills. On another deck, the hangar stretches for hundreds of feet, housing dozens of fighter jets, helicopters, and surveillance drones. Mechanics work tirelessly to keep aircraft mission ready, refueling, rearming, and repairing them with incredible speed. The sound of tools, the smell of jet fuel, and the sight of aircraft being lifted to the flight deck on massive elevators make the interior feel like a living organism. Even deeper below, the engine rooms hum with power, nuclear reactors generating the energy needed to keep the ship moving for decades without refueling. Hospitals with advanced surgical units stand ready to treat injuries. Training simulators prepare sailors for battle. Everywhere you turn, the interior of the carrier reflects one simple truth. This is not just a ship, it is a mobile fortress, capable of enduring and fighting under the harshest conditions. When China launched its bold attack, the true performance of the carrier and its strike group was put to the ultimate test. Missiles streaked across the skies, launched from land-based platforms, submarines, and bombers, all converging on the carrier with deadly intent. The performance of the U.S. Navy stunned the world. Within seconds, the carrier's Aegis radar systems locked onto incoming threats, tracking dozens of missiles simultaneously. Orders were given, and interceptor missiles launched from surrounding destroyers lit up the night sky, colliding with enemy warheads in midair. Fighter jets roared from the deck, streaking into the sky to hunt down bombers and intercept hostile aircraft before they could close in. Electronic warfare units unleashed powerful signals to jam enemy guidance systems, scrambling the accuracy of incoming weapons. The carrier itself, despite its massive size, maneuvered with surprising agility, shifting position to avoid concentrated salvos. Every layer of the defensive shield worked in harmony, from long-range missile interceptors to close-in weapons systems that spewed a hail of bullets at anything that slipped through. The world watched as a supposed death sentence for the carrier turned into a display of unmatched performance, a demonstration of why the U.S. Navy remains the most formidable maritime force on the planet. The safety features of the carrier were equally vital during the onslaught. The ship is built with multiple watertight compartments, so even if a missile penetrates the hull, the damage is contained. Automated fire suppression systems detect and extinguish flames before they can spread. Redundant power systems ensure that even if one reactor or generator is compromised, others immediately take over to keep radar, weapons, and communications running. During the attack, minor damage was reported, but thanks to safety measures, none of it escalated into critical failure. Firefighting crews responded instantly, sealing off affected areas while automated bulkheads closed to maintain the ship's integrity. Medical teams were ready in fully equipped surgical suites, capable of handling battlefield injuries with the precision of a modern hospital. These safety systems meant that despite facing one of the most coordinated missile barrages in history, the carrier never lost combat effectiveness. It did not falter, it did not retreat, it fought on with full strength, and that resilience sent shockwaves through the enemy's command. The unique selling points of the carrier were proven beyond any doubt. No land-based base can match its mobility. It can project power anywhere in the world, without asking permission from allies or relying on foreign soil. It carries its own air force, capable of dominating the skies, striking land targets, and protecting itself at sea. It is defended not only by its own systems but also by the powerful strike group that surrounds it, destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and supply ships working in perfect coordination. The carrier can switch from combat operations to humanitarian missions in an instant, delivering aid after natural disasters or evacuating civilians from conflict zones. It is not just a weapon but a tool of diplomacy, a floating reminder of American presence and influence across the globe. During the Chinese attack, this versatility became clear. While under fire, the carrier launched jets, coordinated missile defense, and continued command operations without skipping a beat. That is its unique power, to absorb punishment while remaining the center of action. Of course, such power comes at an extraordinary price. Building a single carrier costs around $13 billion, not including the billions more for the aircraft it carries and the escorts that protect it. Critics often argue that such an investment is too costly in the modern age of hypersonic missiles and cyber warfare. Yet the attack itself proved that every dollar is worth it. The layers of defense, the resilience of the systems, and the sheer ability to survive and fight back justified the price in front of the entire world. Without carriers, America would lose its global reach, its ability to deter aggression in distant waters, and its capacity to respond instantly to crises. The price is not just for steel and engines, it is for deterrence, influence, and the assurance that America's naval power remains unmatched. In the end, the bold attack by China achieved the opposite of its intended goal. Instead of crippling the U.S. Navy, it showcased its resilience and superiority. Instead of shaking confidence, it strengthened the resolve of allies and reminded adversaries that the seas are still ruled by those who innovate and prepare for every scenario. From the imposing exterior that struck fear into the hearts of adversaries, to the vast and complex interior that kept thousands of personnel ready and coordinated, to the jaw-dropping performance that destroyed incoming threats with precision, to the safety systems that kept the ship alive under fire, to the unique global power it represents, and finally to the staggering but justified cost, the aircraft carrier stood as a symbol of American dominance. The defense did not just repel missiles, it repelled doubt, fear, and uncertainty. It told the world that the age of the aircraft carrier is not over, that even in the face of hypersonic threats and bold challenges, the carrier remains the most powerful instrument of military presence ever built. This confrontation was not just about missiles and ships. It was about the balance of power in the modern world. It was about whether technology and courage can withstand the boldest of challenges. And in this case, the answer was clear: the U.S. Navy remains the ultimate guardian of the seas. The defense changed everything, not only in the waters where the attack took place but in the minds of strategists, politicians, and leaders across the globe. China's bold move became a defining moment, but the Navy's response ensured that the history books will remember it not as the day America's carriers fell, but as the day they proved their unshakable dominance once again.